Hello everybody, and welcome back for another episode of My Chaotic Budget. My name is Sandra, and on this channel we do all things budget related. And in this episode we're going to go ahead and budget my husband's second paycheck of January, but the family's third paycheck of January. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. I hope you all are doing well. Thank you so much for everybody who has recently subscribed. Those of you who have already been subscribed and leaving comments, thank you so much. It really helps me to be seen, to be heard, and to help me feel like I'm on the right path to getting my finances in order. I was going to use a bad word, but I'm like, you know what? Let's not use that today. But yes, so today is December. No, ma'am. It is January the 11th, and I thought I'd give you an update on my no spend. I have been doing pretty well, as you can see. I did buy myself a meal with my family on Monday, January the 6th, and then on Friday I bought myself lunch at work. I forgot to pack. Well, I didn't forget. I forgot to want to do it. So I did not pack myself a lunch, so I had to go ahead and get lunch, but it's okay. I'm not too worried because I didn't spend that much. And later on, I'll go ahead and I'll do a budget closeout so you can see exactly how much I spent. We are improving so much, and I am so happy about that. I do know that currently our amounts within our accounts are very low, but I'm okay with that because I think as long as we're spending it in the right place, like I know, I think we only have $50 left in our account, but it's okay because we had like $150 and we decided to spend $100 more on groceries. And I got one comment from fulbudgets, and she said, you should never feel bad about having to buy groceries. And that's true. Feel bad about the dining out, but don't feel bad about the groceries. So I'm feeling good, and I appreciate that comment from her. So thank you. Thank you so much, Kathy. Okay, the amount that we have that we're going to be working with for my husband's second paycheck of January is $1,946. This is not the true amount because there are some things that we do pay for that are for my husband, and I don't want those to be put on the chopping block because those are for him. And so therefore they're not going to be mentioned in this video. So I'm only going to mention the things that I am willing to share, and you can come at me if you want to. Okay, Netflix is one of our bills that is coming out of this paycheck. And we do have the family plan because we do share in multiple households. It wasn't like that before, but when they did that change, I think a couple of years ago, I think it was because of COVID, they started to increase the price of family plans, and they were checking IPs and all that stuff. So yeah, but his family gets to enjoy it, and I'm okay with that. We have $6 for Ring, which of course is a camera monitoring system that we have. And then for our children, because they love watching Disney Plus, and I do too. I love it when they have shorts and movies. I love all the Pixar movies, and if I have time, I usually watch at least one of the movies every weekend. It reminds me of my childhood a little bit because we used to have VHS, and my favorite was Little Mermaid, The Mighty Ducks, and Mighty Ducks Part 2. That one was one of my favorites. And what else? Aladdin. I had those on VHS, and I enjoyed watching them. Of course, my parents couldn't afford to buy all of the movies, so the ones that I did have, I cherished and I watched over and over again. So I want to give that experience to my children, even if it is a monthly fee. Experian is where I check I do a little bit of credit monitoring. It's not the full-blown account that you can get. It's just really to just check and make sure things are pretty even. I like it. I used to have the more expensive one where I used to pay like 20 something a month, but I realized I really didn't need that. And I think I just need to be able to make sure that there's nothing conspicuous going on. Okay, the next thing I have is my MasterCard, and my minimum payment is $120, and I will just pay the minimum payment for this one, and I'll get into why in a little while. Okay, and then I do have my TJ Maxx card, and I need to make a payment on that one, and my minimum payment is $30. I will be making a payment to Target, and that is $66. And then we do have pet insurance. I think it's good because my cat got sick, and it was going to cost us like $3,000 to get her checked or something like that. But because we had the insurance, we only had to pay like, I think $60. And I was like, okay, that's good. Because if not, then I'd have to put her to bed. You know what I mean? And my children would never forgive me. Our light bill, we should be estimating about $180. Hopefully it's less than that, but if it's more, that's where our account buffer will kick in. Spectrum, this is our cable service. Yeah, this is our cable service. It's low because my husband gets a discount from his job. And then account buffer. Account buffer is 100. So let's go ahead and total this up and see what that amounts to. So we have 34, 6, 18. See if I can get this in the camera view. Oh, I already lost track. 34, 6, 18, 6, 120, 30, 66, 95, 180, 32, and 100. That's 687. I hope I did that right. Okay, so then after we pay the bills, because that's how I do my budget, I want to make sure that I take care of all the bills because I do not want to fall behind. And I believe everything else I can adjust, but bills are non-negotiable for me. I will not go or fall behind on any of our bills. I used to do that in my younger days, and I hated it because then I would have a late fee go on top of the payment that would be due, or I would have an extra charge on the account because I extended it. I'm like, we're not going to do that. We are not going to do that. So that's why this is a non-negotiable. I make sure that all the bills get paid. Okay, so we had 1946, and now we're going to take away the 687. So what we have left is 1259. So now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do groceries, dining out. This is what I call my GDGS. These are kind of like paying ourselves first. Groceries, dining out, gas, and spending. And as much as we are on a debt-free journey, I am not going to deny us having some family fun. So that's why I always make sure that we have some spending money. So for groceries, I did increase this to $300 because these past 2 weeks we ended up spending way more on groceries than I thought. So I want to make sure that we have $300 for groceries. Dining out is really going to be for my husband. And I think this amount is going to be really good for him because I was doing the average of what he spends for lunch. And I think this will cover pretty much for him. And I'm hoping I can stay true to my no spend, no dining out January. So we're going to find out. I did have 2 little red spots, but one of those was a family dining out and we used a gift card. So I still feel okay about that. And then for spending, like I mentioned, I am not going to deny my family this time around. We are going to make sure that we have some spending money. So I'm going to make sure we spend about $200 plus the account buffer if the light bill doesn't come out more than anticipated. Okay, so groceries, that's $300, $150 for dining out, $100 for gas, and $200 for spending. That comes out to $750. So then we go ahead and we do that. That means from our $12.59, we take away the $7.50. That's going to leave us with $5.09. Okay. Then we're going to come up here and we're going to go into our savings. What are we doing for savings? Okay. So every paycheck, I've already made this kind of like a promise that every paycheck I would be adding to extra debt. I would make sure that we would add to our emergency cash, because trust me, there's always times when we need cash. And then there's a yearly fee that I collect for, and I want to make sure I have that on hand. And then high yield savings account. And then of course our dear friend Eva, who helps us with our children. Okay, so extra debt, I usually only give $30. But after putting a little bit of fire under my belly and I see this here, I'm definitely going to be putting more towards extra debt. So I'm going to put 100 instead of 30. In emergency cash, I'm going to also take out our usual 100, and it builds up. It's not always an emergency when we need to use it, but it's for when we are feeling uncomfortable. And trust me, feeling uncomfortable is hard to get used to, but we're getting better at it. So this is something that I think works for us, even though I know that there's that mindset that you want to create. Oh, if you don't have it, you don't have it. But at the same time, it's like that not having it makes me feel very anxious, and I don't like that feeling. And neither does my husband. Yearly fee is going to get its usual $25. And so then let's see. So we still have $284 left, and I do need to give Eva at least 100. So that leaves us with 184. So I'm going to go ahead and make up for the fact that I did not get to deposit into the high yield savings account this last time. And I will put 160. So that means that in miscellaneous for myself, in my own cash wallet, I'll be able to have $24. Okay, that sounds pretty good. Let me just add this up because I really don't know what the total is there. So 100 plus 100 plus 25, 160 plus 100, 485. Okay, and then 485 plus 24 was 509. That's what we had here, plus 750 plus 687. We have our 1946, so that means, of course, that we got to a zero-based balance budget. Okay, so that takes care of that. And then I do not know what my rollover is yet. It is not a lot, but whatever the rollover is in our GDG, which is our gas, our groceries dining out on gas, I will go ahead and I will put that. I wanted to put it towards extra debt, but I'm already putting extra in there. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to go ahead and put it, whatever it is, I'm going to put it towards groceries because I do want to cook more. And I did look at, I forget what her first name is. I think it's Julia Pacheco. She was one of the ones that got recommended to me, and oh my gosh, that woman knows how to make meals for very, very low budget. So I'm definitely going to try that. I know it's going to be trial and error, but I'm definitely going to give it a try. And then as far as whatever's left in spending, I'm going to make a decision at that point because I think it's going to be a low amount, and I might end up putting it either towards extra debt or the high yield savings account. But definitely not going to keep it for spending because I'm already giving us more in our spending than what we had done before. So there we go. that is, of course, budgeting for my husband's second paycheck of January. And then I will do a paycheck closeout. Let me go ahead and just put that up here. Once we get there, because that'll be coming up next once we get paid. So I'll have that ready to go. I want you all to tell me, how are you doing with January? Thank you, Taj, for sharing this. This is from Beautiful Budgets. Thank you so much, Taj. This is really helpful. It's a very nice visual, and it's very pretty too. I just don't have ink on my printer, so I had to go with the black and white. But yeah, so tell me how you're working on your no spend. You know, I understand no spend can mean something different for everybody. No spend can mean that you're not dining out yourself, right? That's how I'm doing it for me. No spend could mean that you're not going to buy anything frivolous, right? Or that's not going to help the family. It could also mean that you're not going to buy anything extra. Like, you're going to keep to your budget, but you're not going to buy anything extra. And, you know, I mean, a no spend could be mean something different for everyone. And I think that that's the best thing about being part of the budget community, is that we can be here for each other and be fully understanding that what works for me may not work for you, and vice versa. And I love that, because we can help each other. We can recommend things, but at the same time, we're here to encourage each other. And I am so grateful for everybody who has left me comments about cooking. My husband today, he is going to be making burgers. He's going to be making some burger patties on the grill, and I love it when he does that because it always tastes so good. And then I went ahead and I made chicken patties for lunch. And when I made chicken patties for lunch, I added some marinara sauce and some cheese on top. And my girls loved it. My other daughter, she actually wanted more, which surprised me that she wanted more, because she usually doesn't like my food. But she liked this one. And so I was just so happy. When I can make my kids enjoy what it is that I cook, makes me happy. But when they start to act like, oh, mommy is cooking, daddy save us, that hurts quite a bit. And, you know, I think I'm doing good by being able to try things and recommendations. Like, I know how to cook rice now, and my girls are anticipating, or they're anxiously waiting for the next time that I'm going to be making rice. My husband wanted to buy a bag of potatoes, and he's going to try and make some baked potatoes, which I haven't bought a bag of potatoes in forever. So I didn't remember the price of a bag of potatoes. A 5-pound bag of potatoes was only like $3. I was shocked. And my husband was like, yeah. I'm like, oh, thanks. I didn't know that. Like, because I buy the groceries, but I guess I don't pay enough attention to what it is I'm buying. When I do it, I think I'm just trying to buy with my eyes and not with what the possibilities. I don't know. But anyway, I digress. So we're done with this. Thank you all for being here. If you have any questions or comments, whatnot, leave them down below. I may not answer right away because I am a busy mom. I do work. I'm a teacher. So my day goes from 5 in the morning when I wake up until 10 o'clock, 10:30 when I'm finally able to go to sleep. And I work, and I'm there for my kids, my husband, and it can be a crazy life, but I'm happy. And I hope that you all are too. So I look forward to talking with you all in the comments. So I'll see you guys later. Bye.